You open your banking app and just stare. The numbers are black, but your brain starts doing the math you are terrified to say out loud. Okay, if I stop working at 65, plus the 401k, minus the mortgage. Wait, is that actually enough? What if I live to 90? What if I get sick? So you slam the app shut. I'll deal with this later. I lived in that denial for years. At 36, I sat in my car holding a $1,200 dental bill, realizing that if I lost my job for 3 months, my entire life would collapse. I wasn't planning a future. I was just hoping not to drown. Most people treat retirement the exact same way. They work for 40 years, save a little, and pray the math works out. But hope is not a retirement strategy. It is a gamble. And if you lose, you don't find out until it's too late to fix it. You can't rewind your 30s. I had a coworker named Mike, 67, bad knees, always exhausted. He pulled me aside one day and whispered, "Sam, I'm scared to stop. I don't think we have enough." That terrified me more than any bill ever could. So today, we're fixing it. I'm breaking down the 5 specific assets you need to own before you retire. Not nice-to-haves, necessary. These are the assets that turn retirement from, "Please let this be enough," into, "I know we're going to be okay." Let's start with the one almost everyone ignores. Asset number 1, your income engine, dividend growth companies. When your paycheck stops, the bills don't. That's the basic math of retirement most people ignore. You go from money in every 2 weeks to money leaving every day. Something has to replace that paycheck. Now, there are 2 ways to do it. A, you sell pieces of what you own. B, what you own pays you. When I was younger, I did what everyone told me. Just build a big pile of money and then sell 4% a year. You'll be fine. On paper, it looked smart. Then 2008 hit. Pause here and imagine this for a second. You're 64. You're 2 years from retiring. You've got your life savings in the market. And 1 year, your portfolio drops 35%. Your income plan, sell 4% each year, suddenly means you're selling more shares at way lower prices just to pull the same dollar amount out. That's not a retirement plan. That's a slow bleed. That's when I started taking dividends seriously. Not meme stocks, not "this thing pays 12% bro" nonsense. I'm talking about boring, realizable companies that send you cash every quarter and raise those payments over time. Companies that sell soap, soda, medicine, snacks, stuff people buy no matter what the economy is doing. Think Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's, the companies your grandparents knew by name. Here's why this matters. Imagine you build a portfolio of these dividend growers. By the time you retire, you've got, say, $1 million in them, yielding 3%. That's $30,000 a year. Not amazing on its own, but here's the twist. These companies increase their dividends over time. They don't stay flat. If that income grows on average 6 to 7% a year, in 10 years, your $30,000 could be closer to $55,000, $60,000 without you adding a single new dollar. You never sold shares, you just held on. That's not a theory from me. That's my life. I remember the first time my dividends covered my entire rent. It was a quiet Tuesday. No confetti, no parade. I just looked at the numbers and realized if I lost my job today, I could still keep my apartment. It was the first real taste of financial peace I'd ever had. That's what you're building with dividend growth stocks, not lottery tickets, an income engine. So the first asset you need before you retire, a diversified portfolio of high-quality, dividend-growing companies that you're willing to hold for decades. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's about making sure you can sleep at night when the paychecks stop. Asset number 2, your growth rocket. Low-cost S&P 500 index fund. And now let me tell you something uncomfortable. Income alone won't save you. You also need growth, Serious growth. I used to work with a woman named Sarah, super disciplined, always saved. She loved bonds because stocks are too risky. When she retired, she had a nice nest egg, but over the next 15 years, inflation chipped away at her purchasing power, quietly, slowly. By the time she hit her late 70s, she told me, "Everything feels more expensive. I'm not doing anything wrong, but it feels like my money is shrinking." She wasn't crazy. Her money was shrinking in real terms. That's why you need asset number 2, a low-cost S&P 500 index fund that you basically ignore. Here's how I think about it. The dividend portfolio is your paycheck. The index fund is your time machine. It's the part of your money whose only job is to grow faster than inflation over decades. You're not trying to outsmart Wall Street. You're not day trading. You're just owning a slice of the 500 biggest companies in America and letting the economy work in your favor. Think of a simple setup at retirement. $700,000 in dividend stocks paying you a growing stream of income. $300,000 in an S&P 500 index fund that you don't touch unless you have to. While you're living off the dividends, that $300,000 is compounding in the background. Historically, it could double roughly every 7 to 10 years. That means 10 years in, maybe it's around $600,000. 20 years in, it could be $1.2 million or more. So when you're 78, 82, those later years where medical bills show up, long-term care becomes real, or you simply want to help your kids and grandkids, you're not just hoping Social Security keeps up. You've got this growth rocket you've been quietly fueling for decades. That's not greed. That's protection against a very real risk, outliving your money. So, asset number 2, a low-cost S&P 500 index fund that you set up early, add to consistently, and then have the discipline to leave alone. Asset number 3, your inflation shield, income-producing real estate. And let me tell you about my friend, Nick. Nick's not a financial genius. He's a regular guy. He worked customer service for years. But when he was 40, he bought a small duplex, lived in one unit, rented the other. At the time, he was barely breaking even, maybe $100 a month in positive cash flow. Not impressive. Fast forward 20 years, the mortgage was almost gone. Rents had gone up. That same property now throws off around $1,500 a month net. That's $18,000 a year from one building. And here's the key. When inflation hits, rents usually rise. So while everyone else is complaining about how expensive everything has become, his income tends to adjust with it. That's the magic of income-producing real estate. Not your primary home. Your home is important, but it costs money. I'm talking about assets that send dollars into your pocket every month. Rentals or REITs. Now, I'm not going to romanticize being a landlord. I've had the 2 a.m. the heater broke calls. I've had tenants disappear owing 2 months of rent. It's not glamorous. But that's why I'm a fan of having at least some of your retirement money in real estate, whether that's a couple of rentals you own outright or REITs you own through the stock market. Because real estate tends to do 3 things well. Number 1, it gives you cash flow. Number 2, it tends to rise with inflation. Number 3, it doesn't always move in lockstep with the stock market. When your stocks are down 25% in a bad year, your tenants still need somewhere to live. That stability is huge, financially and emotionally. So picture this. You're 67. Between 2 paid-off rental properties and your dividend portfolio, your essential bills are covered. The market can do whatever it wants. You're okay. That's a very different feeling from, "I hope the S&P doesn't crash this year." Asset number 3, some form of income-producing real estate in the mix, scaled appropriately to your risk tolerance and stress level. You don't need to be the next real estate mogul. 1 or 2 modest properties or a solid REIT allocation can be life-changing. Asset number 4, your fire extinguisher, inflation-protected bonds. Let's do a quick exercise. Pause and imagine you're retired on $50,000 a year. Feels okay, right? Now imagine 10 years go by. Prices are up. Groceries cost more. Utilities cost more. Healthcare definitely costs more. But your income hasn't changed. Suddenly, $50,000 feels like $35,000 used to. That's slow squeeze. That's inflation. Most people ignore it because it's not dramatic. It doesn't show up as a crash. It shows up as that feeling of, why does it feel like our money doesn't stretch as far as it used to? And it wrecks retirees. That's where asset number 4 comes in. Inflation-protected bonds. Tips. I-bonds. They're not sexy. You won't see TikToks about them, but they serve a crucial role. They protect your purchasing power. With tips, the principal adjusts with inflation. If inflation is 4%, the value of what you own increases 4%, and your interest is calculated on that higher amount. You're not getting rich here. You're not trying to. You're plugging a hole in the boat. When I finally understood this, I started thinking about my portfolio like a house. Number 1, stocks, dividends, real estate. That's the structure. Number 2, tips and I-bonds. That's the fire extinguisher under the sink. You don't walk around showing off your fire extinguisher, but you'll be really glad it's there when you need it. So, no, you don't put 80% of your net worth into inflation-protected bonds, but 10 to 20% as a defensive layer? That can make the difference between we're squeezed but okay and we are drowning. Asset number 5, your fortress, a paid-off home. This one is emotional for me. I had an uncle who worked his whole life. Factory job, long hours, very proud man. He hit 65, retired, and kept a big mortgage because the rate is low and I can invest the difference. On paper, it sounded smart. Then his health went downhill faster than anyone expected. His income dropped, his medical costs went up, and that mortgage payment, it did not care. Every month, that bill showed up like clockwork. I watched him go from feeling proud to feeling trapped in a house he didn't fully own. That stuck with me. So here's my simple belief. Going into retirement with your housing costs as low as humanly possible is one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself. When your home is paid off, your largest monthly expense basically disappears. You still have taxes, insurance, maintenance, but that $1,500 to $2,500 mortgage payment? Gone. Here's what that does. Number 1, your I need this just to survive number drops. Number 2, your dependency on selling investments drops. Number 3, your stress level drops. It also gives you options. Bad market year? You're not forced to sell at the bottom. Want to scale back and work part-time? You can. Need to help family in a crisis? You have more room. I get it. Mathematically, sometimes investing instead of paying down a low-interest mortgage can lead to more money on a spreadsheet. But retirement is not lived on a spreadsheet. It's lived at the kitchen table, staring at real bills with a real spouse, dealing with real health issues. When your home is paid off, everything else gets easier. If you're younger, that means buy less house than the bank says you can afford. Consider a shorter mortgage term. Throw extra at the principal when you can. If you're older and still carrying a big mortgage, that means have an honest conversation with yourself. Can you pay it off before you stop working? Do you need to downsize? What would it feel like to walk into a smaller, fully paid-for place and know, this is mine? Asset number 5, a paid-off home or very low housing costs going into retirement. Let's zoom out for a second. These 5 assets aren't random. Number 1, dividend-paying companies, your core, growing income. Number 2, low-cost S&P 500 index fund, your long-term growth engine. Number 3, income-producing real estate, your inflation-linked cash flow. Number 4, tips or I-bonds, your purchasing power shield. Number 5, paid-off home, your low-expense fortress. Together, they turn retirement from a guessing game into a system. Markets fall, you still have income and a roof. Inflation rises, parts of your income rise with it. You live longer than you expected, your growth engine has been compounding while you sleep. This isn't about becoming a millionaire influencer. This is about not being 78 years old, standing in a grocery aisle, putting food back because you're not sure you can afford it. I've made a lot of mistakes with money. I bought stupid things to impress people I don't even talk to anymore. I've ignored my future because it was uncomfortable to look at. But the thing I'm most grateful for is that at some point I stopped just hoping and started building. So wherever you are right now, 30, 45, 58, ask yourself these 5 questions. Number 1, do I have an income engine started? Number 2, do I have a growth engine quietly compounding? Number 3, do I have any real estate or REITs giving me cash flow? Number 4, do I have any protection against inflation? Number 5, am I on track to lower or kill my housing costs? You don't have to fix everything this week, but you do have to start. Buy your first Dividend stock. Open that index fund. Research one REIT. Look into TIPS or I-bonds. Send one extra payment to your mortgage principal. One decision at a time, you build a retirement that feels calm instead of scary. And if you're watching this thinking, man, I'm late, you're not as late as you'll be if you do nothing. I'm Sam. I've made most of the financial mistakes you can think of, but these 5 assets are the reason I'm not scared of getting older anymore. I want that for you too. Please subscribe to my channel and spread the word who needs this advice. See you in the next one.